You want to solve the problems of Turkey? Well, if I was Turkish, this would worry me, right? Sell the $50 billion of gold, buy $50 billion worth of Bitcoin. Bitcoin will go up by a factor of 4 to 5. The Turkey central bank will have $250 billion of Bitcoin. Bitcoin will appreciate anywhere from 15 to 20% a year thereafter. They will end up with a $40 billion surplus from their Bitcoin position, offsetting a $20 to $40 billion deficit from their balance of trade problem. The Turkish lira will actually turn around and strengthen. Everybody in Turkey gets rich or gets richer. They stop getting poor. The country is saved. The currency is saved. The people are saved. They start an avalanche. What would I worry about? I worry about holding gold. That's, if you're asking me what do I fear, I don't fear anything if I actually have the superior asset. If I was a gold holder, I would fear that one person in Turkey would have the clarity, the conviction, and the courage to sell all the gold and buy Bitcoin. Because if that one person does that, then everybody else is going to start to copy them. The price of gold is going to crash from $1,900 an ounce down to $200 an ounce over time. Gold will approach its utility value. The monetary premium gets stripped off of it. Other nations will start to do the same thing. The nations that move first will have their currencies benefit, because instead of having your currency backed by gold, your currency be backed by Bitcoin. Your nation is backed by Bitcoin. Your nation goes on the Bitcoin standard. What happened to the African nations that kept the glass bead standard when the Europeans showed up on the gold standard? Right? The Europeans basically printed a bunch of glass beads, used it to buy everything in the African nation, enslaved everybody in Africa, owned everything, and impoverished everyone that stayed on the glass bead standard. So, is the gold standard working in Turkey? No. If it was working, the lira wouldn't be crashing, right? Is the gold standard working in China? No, they're not on the gold standard. The CNY is weak. How do you know it's weak? Because they have capital controls. If they drop the capital controls, everybody would take their money out of the CNY and the CNY would crash. So it's not really a question of worrying about Bitcoin. You ought to worry about everything else.